Hello, everyone.
Willkommen.
Hello.
Welcome to our Mini-Octoberfest that we have prepared you for you. I hope you like the music. That should get you straight into the mood. Yes. There you go. You can see a couple of thumbs up there. That's fantastic. Yeah, so herzlich willkommen. We like to take you today onto a mental and culinary journey to Germany, to the good old Oktoberfest, which hasn't happened this year. And I hope you enjoy a little bit what we have prepared for you. Well, I think we need to turn the music down in the background. Otherwise, but yeah, just give it a couple more minutes. Letting you know that we are going to record this session, and also that we're going to live stream this session to our Facebook based at Thermomix community. So hello everyone on Facebook. So you can also pop in some questions and comments if you have onto the live chat there as well. So hopefully that's going to be an entertaining with this not so nice weather today. So Katja and I have thought, how can we entertain you today with a little bit of specialties made in Germany or from Germany, and we have selected 2 sweet treats and 2 savory treats, and I hope you're going to love them and you are going to recreate them in your own kitchens hopefully soon. All right, let's just quickly switch over to Katja so she can say hi and guten Tag to everyone. Hello Katja, can we see you?
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to my kitchen here in Hyatt. So happy to do this Mini-Octoberfest with Janny today. So very happy. I'm going to do the Black Forest cake. We got a sponge cake ready for you guys, and I'm doing it's called Rote Grütze. It's a Nordic classic, and it's a red fruit pudding. So
perfect. Very nice, thank you. Okay, so coming back to me and my kitchen. So just so you know, it's going to be recorded. If you don't want to be on camera, you shouldn't be, because we're only recording the screen that's spotlighted. But by all means, switch your camera off, but stay in the chat, please, so we can interact with you. All right, so show of hands, or put a yes into the chat box if you have ever been to the Oktoberfest. Tell me this. Yes, I have. Yes. Yeah, I can see. Fantastic. And now show me a yes, or show me your hands if it's still on your bucket list, something you want to do. Bucket list, there you go. Yeah, I know. It's phenomenal. So Oktoberfest is been around for really a couple of 100 years now, and it's very impressive. It's the largest beer festival in the world, and they have about 7 million liters of beer that they're drinking there throughout the course. I think it's 16 to 18 days. It always depends. Fun fact, actually, Oktoberfest doesn't happen in October. It actually happens in September. So it starts in September, goes for around 2 weeks, and it ends on the first Sunday of October. But I know we're a little bit late this year, but who cares, right? We're still here and want to celebrate a little bit of Oktoberfest with you today. So, are you ready to go on a journey with us? Naturally, great. I love that. So we can have a little German as well. Fantastic. So I'm going to kick off today with the famous pretzels. So I'm going to show you how to make pretzels. It's actually Brezeln, right? Because the pretzels that you know, they're usually the hard ones, the baked ones, but we're going to make soft pretzels or Brezeln today. So it's hard with saying German with an Aussie accent. And you're gonna be happy that all of these recipes are free and available for you on cookiedo.com.au and search for the Oktoberfest collection. So all of the recipes are there for you. You don't necessarily need a Thermomix to do them, but obviously it's going to take longer and much more pots and pans, and it's a bit more complicated, but you can still do all the recipes also the old-fashioned way or the traditional way. Okay, so now we're going quickly over to my Thermomix screen, and Elizabeth and Megan, by the way, two of our team members are helping us with the spotlighting and the chat today in the background, so they will pop in the links to the recipes for you and also answering your questions. Not the stove one, the other one, the TMX, please. We'll come back to the stove later. Yeah, there we go, that's the right one, perfect. Thanks so much, Elizabeth. All right, so this is my Thermomix screen, and what I've done today, I have put all my recipes into my weekly meal planner, and all I need to do is go into my week and searching for the first recipe. And these are the recipes that we're going to make today. And I also want to show you there's an original German recipe. So for our German friends here today, you can access from cookiedo.com.au also all the German recipes. You just need to work with the filters. So originally the pretzel is called Laugenbrezel, and this means it will be either dipped or brushed with some dye afterwards, and that's where the distinct brown color comes from. So today we're going to choose the English version for you guys, and all we need to do is start cooking. So it says slightly grease a large bowl. We don't need that because we do have what you probably already have seen. We have these silicone mats. So if you get one of these bread mats, and I'll show you how this works, then you don't need to grease anything extra. All right, so this is going to be a yeast dough, but the difference here is we're making that with full fat cream. Cream milk. So it's 400 litres of milk that goes straight into the bowl. Oh, there you go. And already made a mess. It's meant to be easy. And all we need to do is click on next. Now we're adding 2 teaspoons of dried instant yeast. If you can get your hands on fresh yeast, that would be better actually. When you put the yeast in, just make sure that you don't pour it straight into the middle, so otherwise it will just sit on top of the blades and go around in circle and not do anything. So when you put in the yeast, just make sure you pop it on the side so the mixture gets nice and evenly distributed. You can add a little bit of sugar here if you want to. That helps to activate the yeast a little bit faster. And also just one tip, if you're using dry yeast, keep them in the freezer. You can either buy the small sachets or I usually buy the bigger container and I keep it in the freezer. That way it stays fresh for the longest. All right, so now we're just following the instructions, put the lid on top, and all we're doing is we are basically heating up the milk to activate the yeast. So this timer has been set to 2 minutes and we're going to go to 37 degrees, so just to make the milk lukewarm. And all we need to do is turn the dial and start mixing. So whilst this is doing that, we're heading over to Katja's kitchen, and I'm quickly spotlighting you. Here we go. Katja, what are you going to start with?
Actually, I'm going to show you how to cut the cake with a thread. First, I would like to tell you that I did this chocolate sponge yesterday. You can also do it a few hours before, but the cake needs to be actually cold to be cut. I used this beautiful 20 centimeters cake tin, which you can get on a mix shop. It's fantastic because it's non-stick. It comes in rose gold and perfectly fitted pre-cut parchments which you just have to put in here. So no greasing needed. You put in the mixture, which is the recipe, which Megan has shared before. You just follow the recipe, you put the dough in, and then it goes in for 35 minutes into the oven. So that's what I had to do beforehand, because it does take a bit of preparation. The whole Black Forest cake recipe is about 5 hours. So I'm going to show you how we do the cream. I'm going to do the threading now. There are some special cutting knives for that, but I don't have them. You don't need them, because we can actually do that by ourselves with just a good bread knife and some thread. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to cut, because we need 3 layers. So I need to cut the cake twice. So we're going to start with the top, and I'm going to cut with the knife about ½ centimeter into the cake. So that's what I will do for preparation. And then I will put the thread through, and I will go all the way around through the cake. What is also fantastic is this, it's called what is it called again? The turntable, which is perfectly for such cakes like that, which is also available on our mix shop. So I'm just gonna go around.
Yeah, if you're into cake decoration, that's a great tool to have. Like with the spatulas that you have.
Okay, then we just have a normal thread, doesn't matter what color, really. We just take it off, then we just cut it. So now the magic happens. So we just taking the thread into the cut I made earlier.
Yeah, when you use dental, you get a little bit of minty flavor.
Ah, yeah. Haven't tried that one yet, but you could do that. So you need to be patient. And the important thing is, if you put the thread around, that you make a cross, and now with the cross you go back towards the other end and cut through the cake. Here you go. Ah, here it is. Have a look. Ta-da! This is my first layer.
Wow.
Nice and straight.
Yes, absolutely. This is great. It's such a great tip, Katja, to yeah, because most of us don't have the large knives and to cut all the way through. So once you're doing this with the second layer, I'll just quickly come back to my Thermomix here.
Yeah, sure.
And because now what happened is, so the yeast has been activated, the milk has warmed it up. Nothing really to see here. You can see I haven't cleaned my bowl from the last one, so I've already prepared a dough, because that one obviously then needs to sit and proof. So next is 600 grams of baker's flour. What's baker's flour? So baker's flour, rather than normal flour, just contains more gluten. That helps when with the baking, because you want the dough to become stretchy and workable. Also great for pizza doughs to work with. Obviously not the right choice for gluten intolerant people out there. So we have about 600 grams. Can you see how these scales are going in 1 gram increments? Whoops, I went 1 gram above. So I always buy my baker's flour in 12 kilo bags, and I store them here in a big tub. Make that easier, but obviously I need that a lot for my work. So 600 grams of baker's flour, and they're just sitting in there. Where's my spatula gone? Here we are. And in the next step, we are going to add salt. So 2 teaspoons of salt. I use pink Himalayan. It's recently been in the press with not so good news but I'm still using it. So, however, when you use salt together with the yeast, just make sure when you pop the salt in that it doesn't touch the yeast, because it actually kills the yeast. So nothing will happen whilst it's kneading, but when you pop it in, just make sure you don't have in the yeast that you add the salt directly to the yeast, have the flour layer in between. All right, back to popping the lid on top, and now I can knead my dough for 2 minutes, and it has set the timer already. All I need to do is turn the dial. The lid will automatically close, and you can hear the blades are turning and stopping and turning, and that's how the kneading looks like. So back to you, Katja.
All right, so we're going to do the cream now. We do the cream now because it needs to be cold and sit in the fridge. So we can go to our Thermomix recipe. And I don't know if you already, because this is the recipe itself had 64 steps. So actually, if you click on that little arrow here, or even if you go up, actually, yeah, and then you go down, you have the filling here, you have the cake, you have the assembly, and I actually want to go straight to the cream. So if I click on this is position 15, I click on number 15, and bang, here it is. I will go straight to where I will make the cream, instead of me going next to number, what is it, 49, which would take a bit longer, but this is also an easy way to show you how you can get to the other step. So what we need is the butterfly whisk. It's perfect for making creams. Very important here is not to put the speed over 4. That's why there's also a little sign here called maximum 4. So we're just going to insert that into our bowl. And I'm going to fresh cream now from the fridge. We need a lot of cream here because we need to assemble the cake later on. So I prepared 1,000 grams of whipped or thickened cream. Pour that in here. Ta-da! Nice cream. So we if you don't like sugar, you don't have to add the sugar, but I like it a bit sweet, so I'm using a keto sweetener, which is called Avectorol, but you can also use other sweeteners of your choice, or even sugar. So that's 1 teaspoon. And some vanilla paste, fresh from the shop. Vanilla bean paste, 1 tablespoon, or teaspoon, sorry. And we're gonna also put it in here. And put our lid on. So now this part, what is coming now, is crucial because it's going for 1 minute, but we need to make sure that it doesn't over whip. And we're just gonna look carefully through our hole here to just monitor it, because it will go on speed 4, as I said before, not more than speed 4. And it will go now for 1 minute, and I will have a close look that it doesn't over whip. Back to you, Janny.
Yes, thank you. So as oh, hang on. Here we go. So yeah, as Katja just said, so actually the whipped cream is one of the, I would say it's the only recipe where you cannot walk away from your Thermomix. You have to stand next to it, and you have to do cooking with your ears, because it really depends on the freshness of the cream that you're using. So whipping cream can take between, let's say, 30 seconds to 10 minutes, and it's still not whipped, okay? So this is a bit tricky. You need to stay next to the machine, and you need to have a look. If you over whip, don't despair, then you're just making butter. So no drama there. But that's when you want to do the perfect whipped cream, and obviously you don't want to have your butter vanilla flavored, then yeah, stand next to it. All right, now quickly heading to my thermal mat here. So this is the mat that I was referring to earlier. So it's a silicone mat, one of our house rewards, by the way. And if you are into baking, this is your must-have tool. So my dough has now been kneaded and looks like that. You can knead it also a little bit longer. The longer you knead it, the more gluten will be activated, and that makes the dough stretchier and more workable. So how do we get that out? Super easy. Just turn the bowl upside down and see this little flower shaped symbol here in the middle. So this is actually our blades. So what I can do is just wiggle the blades and see what's happening. The dough just falls out, and my bowl is basically clean and ready to go. There's just a tiny bit in here, so I'm using that. So what I do now is just quickly form that into a log, and now I can let it sit there and have a rest, and I will fold it into my mat. So with the yeast doughs, it's always very important that they are undisturbed and in a undisturbed from air, and that they are in a moist environment. Here it is. They like it warm and moist, and that's where the yeast can do its job. So I'm going to leave that here and let it proof for at least an hour. So the longer the better, but you'll see, because it will, once it's risen, it will look like this one here that I've prepared earlier. And Katja, can we get a wave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my cream is actually finished.
There you go.
And this is what you want, what it's going to look like. Nice and thick. All right. Should I continue, Janny, or?
Yes, keep going.
Yeah, good. So now we're going to take off the butterfly. And before we put everything in the fridge, just a little note. I'm going to use, because for the decoration later for the cake, I'm using this fantastic Piper bag, another great tool from our mix shop. And to make it easier for me, I use this long glass, and I'm going to put in this Piper bag. And I put my cream in there first, because I don't want to forget, I don't want to assemble my cake and then, oh, I haven't got enough cream for my decorations on the top. So we're just going to put some cream in my Piper bag now. Okay. And once this is all done, this will all go in the fridge before we move on to all the other steps. But it's crucial, that it needs to be nice and cold before we put it on. So until I do that, Janny, you can we can go back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. I am here with my dough. All right, so this is now the proven version. You can see it's double in the size. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to shape the pretzels. And the only thing is, on these silicone mats, you don't want to use any knives. So because that is, it has a woven fabric in there, glass fiber, and you don't want that to be exposed to your food. So I'm using either this or that tool. So that's our normal spatula that comes with the Thermomix. So you can use that cutting as a knife. But actually, on my doughs, I prefer these bowl scrapers. Again, available in the mix shop. So when you go into, or if you are into baking, and then it's really it's really handy to have these little helpers here. That just brings more fun in the kitchen when you do your work, and you know that you don't destroy your stuff. Okay, anyway, so I'm now shaping about 9 or 10 little dough links. So I'm just cutting them, and let's see. So you can weigh them if you want to have equal size portions, but I'm just going to show you with 1 or 2 what I'm doing. So basically you have these and you form them into little logs like that. So you can either form them all into these log shapes and have them sitting and resting for a little bit longer, or you can just form the pretzels, and that's what I'm going to do today, so we save up a little time, and then let the pretzel shape rest. So now how this works is, let me see if I can show you that from the front. That is actually, I need the whole length here of my mat. So hang on, I'll get you a little bit closer. Yeah, that looks better. All right, so I have my little log here, and what you want to do is you want to basically keep the middle section thick and just roll out the sides. So you can practice that with the Play-Doh if you like, from your kids, or you just make the pretzel dough and practice that here. So, and you work your way from the middle without touching the complete middle side, and just go and work your way with your hands out. And then you have approximately the size of this mat, which is 60 centimeters. All right, so that's about the length that you want. So keep the middle part thick, and then what you're going to do is you have this, you make an U shape. So have the thick part in the, away from you, and have your 2 loose ends. So what you're going to do is now you cross them once, and you cross them again. No, so you cross them once, you cross them again. All right, twice, and then you fold it over to the front, and that makes that distinct pretzel shape. All right, show you again. So rolling that out. So this is one way of doing it. It's pretty much the easiest way that you can also remember that pretzel shape there. So that's what the one way. So this, cross again, and then just fold it forward. If you are a little bit more professional and you've done it a little times already, you can then also just do this. Same thing. And I've made a little YouTube video where I'm showing that method here. So whichever one you prefer, you have the same end result. But as you can see, this one's actually a little bit prettier. So one more time, cross, fold, and then you can shape them into pretzel shape. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to transfer them onto my oven mat. So as you can see, it's similar to this one. It's a little bit smaller, and this one goes straight into the oven. They are, so this mat and that mat together are actually a host reward package. Talk to your consultant or ask us if you want to get your hands on them, potentially even for free. So I keep doing this, shaping my pretzels, and we're heading back to Katja's kitchen and see how the Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte is going.
Ta-da! Actually, I just got my second bowl, very handy to have, and you probably will tell us later on in your commercial break about the second bowl, because I'm actually starting now because the Rote Grütze, the red food pudding, because it can cook, and in that time I can show you the chocolate shaving. So I'm just gonna start with the Rote Grütze. So I'm just going back to my week.
Such an awkward name, Rote Grütze.
I know. Actually, I know why you don't know it, Janny, because it is actually from the Nordics, or from the north of Germany, and even in Denmark they use that recipe, and it's quite famous.
I know, I'm from the southern part of Germany, so I was
Yeah, that's why.
And we never had Rote Grütze. So for me, that's actually, I don't know why it's in the Oktoberfest collection, because that's not even Bavarian, that recipe.
Yeah, true. That's actually a good point. So this red berry pudding, actually also this recipe here is with white wine and rum. Usually we just use any kind of fruit juice you have. So I'm doing the apple juice today. So 250 grams of apple juice. No rum today because my kids would like to eat it later on. We have some corn flour to thicken everything up, like for the pudding. Then again, some sugar, 50 grams. I'm using a Vitrol again as a keto sweetener. You can choose any kind of sweetener you like, of your choice. With the berries, it's the same. I didn't have 300 grams of fresh berries, so I also used some frozen berries. I defrosted some before and going to use those.
I think the rum and wine version is the Oktoberfest version because, you know, they're all Norse.
Yeah, exactly. My whole kitchen smells after the Kirsch because I opened it. We get to that later on. So now I'm going to mix that for 10 seconds. Everything. So, and we have to add, oh no, actually now it's actually 9 minutes cooking now on 100 degrees. On speed 3, and we let that go. Come back to it after 10 minutes. In that time, I would like to show you how to do the chocolate shaving. So when we do the decoration later on, you have on top, you have really nice chocolate shaving, and on the side, you have more chocolate, and you can make your own chocolate shaving. So you just need a tablecloth. You put that, maybe I put that away so you can see. Put that on your bench. Small board. Some good chocolate, dark chocolate. I prefer Lindt. It's 85%, so anything over 70 is good. So. And we need a good sharp knife. I'm having, this is a very good knife. All right. So what we're going to do, I hope you can see that. You use the back of the chocolate, so not the front, the back. You put the chocolate and the board towards you. You take your knife and you just press the knife down and the chocolate towards you, and see the little shaving here? Can you see that? That looks perfect. It's perfect for decoration later on. We don't need so much for it because it goes in the middle. Okay.
In Germany, you can actually buy this stuff ready-made.
Yeah.
Here, I haven't found it, so that's a great tip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking for it, and then I thought, you can do it yourself.
Our participants are watching you with great fear and fright.
So yeah, we don't need that much. You see, this will be enough to do it. Put it actually in the middle. And once this is done, we're going to grate or mill some more chocolate to put around the cake. So now back to you, Janny.
Yeah, that's all right. So my next step is going to be, here am I. I'm not yodeling, don't worry. So my next step is going to show you how we dye the pretzel. So as I said earlier, in Germany they actually call it Laugenbrezel, and here Lauge is natron, and natron is in English is actually very close to what we have the bicarb soda. So I've done it multiple times with bicarb soda. I've also got the good old natron and took it back from Germany with me, so because I wanted to see if it's really much of a difference if I use natron or if I use bicarb soda, and I can assure you bicarb soda works just as fine. I would just say use a little bit more than the recipe said. So in the recipe, I think it was 3 tablespoons of bicarb soda on 800 grams of water. So what I've done now, so let's get over to my stove. I've got another camera here today. This is amazing. We do what we're doing here. We think so professional. I think I'm a little bit further away from the microphone. Let me try to swap that over. 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's perfect, Janny. Well done.
Now I've got to hang on. Technology. Here we go. Perfect. So this is my stove. These are all the perfectly formed pretzels. As you can see, this is my my second mat, and it's heavily used and well loved. So they do discolor a little bit, so they get darker if you use them a couple of times, but it doesn't do anything on the usability. So this is my dye. So that's the water with the bicarb soda, and I brought it to the boil. So this is really hot, as you can see. And what we're going to do now is give these pretzel shapes a bath in the dye. And it just needs about 10 to 20 seconds. So what I usually do is I just let them swim a couple of seconds on one side. Then I use my slotted spoon, turn them around, and give them a bath from both sides. So that's all it needs. And then they go back onto the baking sheet. And so you don't really cook them, but you just pop them in here. And again, just a couple of seconds, turn it around so they get nice and warm and having a bath there. But take it in out. So I'm going to repeat that with all of them. And that's actually what's going to make the distinct brown color of a pretzel. So they're not baked until they are brown. So that's just how they go. So now what I'm doing next is I'm going to cut the pretzel. So because you all know they have this always this little white bit, and this is now I'm opening up a little mouth, so to speak, for them. And on the outside is where I sprinkle them with a little bit of salt. You can also use sesame seeds. So, but you will see later on where I cut them, that white bit, that inside will come out and it will be white, and the rest of it will be nice and brown. So this is how they look like before they go into the oven. All right, makes sense? It will make more sense when you see the finished product here. Okay, so whilst I keep doing this, amazing. All right, so now I need to, where I'm going to go next? Katja, can we go over to you, or do you want me to do the commercial break?
Another 2 minutes I need, and then we can come back to me, if it's okay.
Okay, great. All right, you know what? What I'm going to do, I'm going to keep doing here this, and I'm going to have a chat with you. I'm going to right here at my stove. So I'm bathing my pretzels as we speak. There we go. Yeah, it's just letting you know what's currently on offer in Thermal World. So I've already mentioned the 2 host rewards, the fabulous baking mats that we have. But as you also probably know, we have always, well, most of the time we have a monthly purchase incentive. And for the month of November, Katja already spoiled it a little bit. We are having a special offer of getting a second bowl for just $99 extra. So for everyone who's going to purchase a Thermomix in the month of November and the offer's actually starting today, so no pressure. But from today, if you want to go ahead and purchase a Thermomix for yourself or for Christmas, then you have the options for an extra $99 to get a second bowl. And Katja was already mentioning it, how important it is, or how good it is to have an extra bowl. All right, so what's next on the thermal, or let's say in our team calendar, we are planning to run every Saturday until Christmas a little cooking experience for you. So similar like the Mini-Octoberfest today, we're only going to have 2 or 3 presenters, and we want to keep it a little bit shorter of your time. And the next session is next Saturday, that's the 7th of November, and we're planning on getting you into shape with summer salads. So I hope you like that topic and you're going to tune in with us again. We haven't finalized the menu completely yet, but we will let you know in a short while.
Are you going to mention the blade covers? I think they're coming up on.
Yes, that's right.
Well.
That's right. Thanks so much for the reminder. I was just about to say, so what else was it? I know there was something else. So some of you might already have heard about the blade cover, and you've seen it. It's always sold out, and it's currently also not available in the mix shop. So what's a blade cover? A blade cover is, and I'll show you in a sec, it's an attachment for a TM5 and a TM6. You can use it on both machines, and you put it on top of the blade, so the blades are covered. Hence, it's called a blade cover. Makes sense, actually. And it's for cooking delicate food. So everything you want to cook that's not being touched by the blades, not being cut, you can gently cook using the blade cover. It's also great for cooking sous vide. That's what you want to explore further down the track.
We just had feedback.
An echo again. And I'm just finishing here so they can go into the oven.
Yeah, you can come back to me if you want, Janny.
Yes, great. All right, let's go back to you, Katja, for the moment. And can someone spotlight you? Oh, this is my back.
I think I have. There she is.
Yay, I'm back. Okay, great. Thank you, Elizabeth. So now I'm just finishing off the Rote Grütze. I need to add some more fruit. Just another 300 grams. And oops, here they are. Just to finish everything off. And we want to put the bowl on again, the mixing bowl, and we're going to do another 15 seconds on speed 2. Just to mix everything. And then we're going to put it on the nice bowls here.
While you're doing that, do you want to tell us what that little thing is that you're tapping the screen with?
Oh yeah, this is a styler. This is awesome because you can, it's like a little touch screen thing, and it's called styler, and you can also purchase that on a mix shop.
What's great about it is I find quite often my hands are wet because I'm washing them all the time, and it means that I can move things along as I'm cooking and not have to wipe the screen. That's what's handy for me. And I saw you using it and I thought, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's great you're mentioning that. Sometimes I forget about it because it's so handy. So now my Rote Grütze is finished, and I'm going to put it now in my glass and in my bowls. This is also a great scraper here from the mix shop. This after I put it in, it usually goes into the fridge for 2 hours. It needs to be cooled down. But I can show you, I have done it already yesterday, and can show you the finished product. Nice and cool. You can have that with cream on top or some vanilla sauce. This recipe reminds me of my grandma. I used to have that always as a dessert for lunch. Or even they were serving that at our school canteen. Long time ago when I was going to school. Childhood memories.
Can't be
So
that.
nice. Sorry?
Can't be that long ago.
Oh yeah, it's a while. It seems a while ago. All right, so this is ready now to go into the fridge. While we leave that here for now, and I put it in the fridge now. Just before we move back onto Janny, I want to show you quickly how to mill the chocolate. This is the chocolate what we're going to put around the cake. So I already used some of it for the shaving here. I'm going to use the same bar, and we're going to go back to my week, back to the Black Forest cake, and that was step. So we're going back to the assembly. We can scroll down all the way down, and that was number 14. Just want to show you the power of the Thermomix, what you can do within 10 seconds milling. So we're just going to put that all in. That's how easy it is. And 10 seconds is going to be loud. So
Nice.
the power.
Thank God that Zoom is turning the volume down, so you can't really hear that the power. So it's not loud.
Okay, just in case you talk to me, I didn't hear that what you said.
That's right.
Okay, so now we have our chocolate milling for later on. Gonna pour that in here.
It's always a wow for me. It does it so fast, so evenly, and so efficiently.
I mean, look at it. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
The powder.
Yeah.
So we're back to you, Janny, now.
Yeah.
Back to Janny.
So let's
Yeah.
go back
Put them in the fridge now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right, so this is the blade cover. I quickly wanted to show you before I, quickly whip up my Obazta, which is the cheese spread. So what it does, so that blade cover actually just sits on top of the blades, just like that. And then you can hopefully see, so it's easy, it's evenly covered there, and you can't see the blades anymore. So this is great for sous vide, because when you have the larger bowl for the plastic bags that are going there in circles, that they don't touch the blades. Also for slow cooking, because then the meat doesn't touch the blades. We have a fantastic slow cooked meatballs recipe actually available in there. And again, you can use it for a TM5 and a TM6 because the bowls have exactly the same size. All right, so away from Katja's naughty thermal cooking, the German stuff, it has everything has alcohol in it. My stuff is not naughty, it has just carbs a lot, which is not so good either, but yeah, so obviously going along with my savory pretzels, I want to have a nice cheese spread. And Obazta, again, it's very popular in the southern part of Germany, and it's a Bavarian expression, Obazta, and it actually means something like mixed together, or so. It's really hard to translate that, but it's a really it's just camembert cheese, but it's been flavored very with various extra spices and has that distinct color as well. So I'm going to show you that in a second. So we're going back to my Thermomix camera, and yay, here we go. So okay, finding my recipe, and also I've got fat fingers, that's why I use my stylus pen. And as Elizabeth already said, it's great when you have wet fingers. So this is the bread, and this is how you spell it. Obazta. We're going to get the link for you in the chat anyway. So start cooking, and we're going to start with weighing in 30 grams of spring onions. You can also use shallots. So spring onions is always a nice discussion on the internet about what's a spring onion, what's a shallot, whatever you like it to be. All right. So feel free to use any type of onion actually that you like. And now all we do is chop that up quickly in 3 seconds. I don't have to think about it. Can you hear that sound? So the TM6 has different sound settings available. With your TM5, if you do have a cook key, then here we go. That's just the chopped up onions. And you can adjust the volume and the duration of that jingling noise. And the TM6 also has different sounds available. So now we're going to add 200 grams of camembert cheese, and it's a soft cheese. Don't go for the brie. The brie is not as, if it's ripe, it's too soft. It's not strong enough from the taste. But we have the rind removed. So I have basically shaped that before we did the class, and you can see it's very nice and mature. You say that right? Has mature. It's old. The older it gets, the more flavor and taste we have in this one. And now it's just a matter of adding all the other ingredients, and that's why I said you can also do that with your own, with a different kind of blender or what you have. Now, in the next step, it wants 150 grams of drained ricotta. So you can make your own ricotta in the Thermomix. If you haven't seen that yet, I think we had a class. So we have recorded all our classes, previous classes, and they are available for you to rewatch if you like on my YouTube channel. It's called Janny Thermal Crazy, and I'm gonna have to think where we did the ricotta, but that's a great money saver recipe if you make your own ricotta. You just use milk and you use vinegar, and you get the whey and you get the ricotta in there. So that's that. And here it says C tips. You could also use, instead of ricotta, quark instead. Now, quark in Australia, that's a story of its own. And guess what? You can make your own quark in the Thermomix. All you need to do is get sour cream, and basically same way like you make also the ricotta. You cook the sour cream and you drain it, and voila, there you have your own homemade quark. And if everything fails, you can't get your hands on a ricotta, you can't do or get or make your own quark, then you could also use just cream cheese instead. All right, now we're adding a whole bunch of extra spices that I've mentioned earlier. So I've put them all already in this little tab here. So this is half a teaspoon caraway seeds. Don't replace them with cumin seeds. They look exactly the same, but they taste completely different. Quarter of a teaspoon sweet paprika. That's going to be the color, so because Obazta is usually orange. And quarter of a teaspoon salt, I would say to taste, and a pinch of pepper. So I'm having all of them right here. And now we'll just pop the lid on top and mix that all together for about 20 seconds.
Record again.
There we go. That's that. And now I'm going to transfer my Obazta mixture. Ooh, that looks like a nice creamy dip. So I'm going to transfer that today in one of our mini thermoservers. We often get asked, oh, what do you use them for? So we have the normal 2.6 litre ones to keep food hot or cold for up to 2 hours. So mini thermoservers, I especially love them for dips. And in summertime, when you're sitting outside, 40 degrees, that really keeps your dips nice and cool. And you can pop a lid on top. This means nothing flies and crawls into your dips as well. So they are also available as host rewards in case you are interested. So look at that cheese spread, and that's going to make a very yummy. And by the way, this is a nice spatula. I love this one in particular because it has a long handle and it can go all the way into the bowl without my fingers going halfway in there as well. I'm all about the ease. And now, and I was just going to tell you in the recipe, garnish with some chives before. Ooh, and that sound means the pretzels are ready. Well, how nice does that look? Yeah. Are we going back to you, Katja?
Yeah, that would be great. I'm ready. Ta-da! Okay. So now we can assemble the cake. So as I mentioned earlier, what you need, or what would be perfect if you have a turntable. This is a cake board that I bought in the local stores. And I started with my first layer, which I just put on top. I'm using a cake ring. You can buy that online. You don't have to use it, but I found it quite good to help me to straighten up the cake and that it looks nice at the end. So I'm just gonna make that smaller, really tight, so it's around my biscuit. All right. So what I made earlier, and what I had to also make earlier, is this cherry pudding mixture, you can say. So it's basically, actually, I tell you exactly what I did. I used morella cherries from the glass. I put them for here. I drained them, and all the liquid went into the mixing bowl. 25 grams of corn flour. I used the thickening mode, and this complete mixture had to cool down. That's why I had to make it earlier, because we're going to put that now on the cake. So let's do it. Now the best part is assembling the cake. So we're just going to put the whole mixture in here. It actually looks deceiving because it looks quite a small cake, but once you assemble it, it's quite high, and it's amazing how how high it actually gets. So everything in here, all around. So it's nice and thick mixture. So, and the rest, there you go. So once I have that in here, I will actually start with the cream before we get onto the alcohol next. I also can use that ball scraper, or yeah, before I forget, there are also those spatulas. They're also from the mix shop. For this size, because it's 20 centimeters, the small one is fine, but if you have anything over 20 centimeters, you can use the big ones as well. So I'm going to put some cream of it, maybe a third, because we have another 2 layers, so we're going to put a bit more. And I'm going to put that around my cake. Maybe I need a bit more cream. So go all around. So needs to be nice and round. all the way. So that's why it's good when you have that ring. It really helps you to make it straight. So once we have done that, we can put the second layer of the sponge cake I did earlier. So I'm just going to pop that on top. I hope you can see that well. So,
Katja, how about can you hear me? Katja?
yes.
How about the kirsch or the alcohol?
Yeah, the kirsch, this is what I'm going to do now. So this is now the kirsch goes on top of the sponge to make it moist. And here, this is the kirsch I used. It's especially Schwarzwälder Kirschwasser, it's called. So it's a schnapps. Janny can tell you more about that because it's actually from her.
Black Forest.
From the Black Forest, yeah.
It's got a very innocent name. It's actually called, if you translate that word for word, it says cherry water, right? But
or cherry water, yeah.
Cherry water, but it's not water at all.
It has 42% of alcohol. So as I'm drizzling that on top here of the sponge, and you can smell the alcohol. It's amazing. It depends. I mean, how much you want to put in there, but this is an adult cake, so I'm going to put a lot on there. Okay.
That's good. What do you say, Megan? Jenny drinks a lot. No, I'm not. No, this is well, obviously we want to make it authentic for you, or show you or share with you what we know about authentic German Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's less about the cherries, it's more about the Kirschwasser.
Yeah, and actually, if you do not use Kirschwasser or Kirsch in the cake, it's actually not a real Black Forest cake, you know. This is the rule. You have to put Kirsch.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's not a real deal, you know what I mean? Okay, so now we put another layer of cream. So, and then after that, we put again our last bit of sponge on top. So. And I always use the bottom because it's nice and even.
Mm-hmm.
So put that on top. And again, we put the kirsch.
Idea, yeah.
You could also, I mean, if you wanted to, you could have put in the cherries I did earlier with the mixture. You could have also drained them in Kirschwasser. But I thought this is a nicer way to show and also to taste.
Yeah, so you drain them from the glass and you add Kirschwasser back, so they soak the Kirschwasser out a little bit.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yep.
You could do that too, yeah. There are many variations. It really depends how much alcohol you want to have in your cake.
Well, it's just, you know, if you have one, well, just don't use the car afterwards anymore. So,
yeah.
Talking to the policeman, saying, well, no, I haven't had a drink. I only had a piece of cake.
Okay, so then the last part. Oh no, actually, it's better now to take the ring off, and I do the rest.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the cream on top. Ta-da!
Oh, wow!
Can you see that? Yeah, put it all away here. So, I mean, as you can see, there's always this cherry mixture. I'm just going to clean up now. That's not a problem. And then I'm going to put the cream all around it.
All right. So whilst you're doing this, and I'm pretty sure that it really, and that's why it takes so long, right? There's a lot of thing, and to keep it in shape, I would actually put it probably back in the fridge right now.
Yes, I mean it has to cool between. That's what also it says in the recipe. Yeah. But we haven't got the time now. But that's why I put the cream, and we did the cream at the start, so the cream is at least fresh and cold. Yeah.
So the more time you have with this, the better the result obviously will be in the end. So whilst you're doing this, quickly coming back to my kitchen again, and I want to show you what I've done here. So this is now a Oktoberfest platter, and this is how the pretzels look like right now. So what I wanted to show you is where I cut them. This is where the white part from the inside comes out. So this is, when you look at it, it looks like a smiley face, doesn't it? So it's always the way I look at pretzels. And when we do eat pretzels, who calls them, Brezeln is the German word for it. So these are the ones that I would call pretzels, because they're the mini ones, the hard ones for snacking, and these are the Brezels that we have in Germany. So actually in Germany we grow up with them. So I think every child has that for, well, breakfast, afternoon tea, lunch, dinner, anytime. So this is an absolute staple, and usually we eat them with butter. So what I have here is our butter bell, and because we're already talking about tradition here, so this is a very old-fashioned way to store your butter. And as you can see, so probably from my wet fingers, so in the bottom here, in the bottom part, there is fresh water, and you store the butter, either homemade or the one that you buy, in here, and you turn it upside down. That's the way how you store it. So the water in here will keep it airtight, and the good news is you can have that sitting on your kitchen bench, so you have always spreadable butter that is not not exposed to the air, so it doesn't go rancid. And so they've used the butter bell for many years in the past, and traditionally you eat your pretzels with butter, so a butter pretzel, and or you eat it obviously with your Obazta. And now I want to show you something very important, and this is how you pour a Weizenbier into a Weizenbier glass. Okay, let's go. I'm going to just get my other camera up here. So hopefully that goes well. So it's just something I just wanted to show you. I haven't done it in years. Hefeweizen is actually a yeast beer. So as you can see, so it says Hefeweißbier. It's not only a wheat beer, but there's also yeast in it. And that is, that's not the same beer that you get in the steins on the Oktoberfest. It's a specialty beer. So, and you need a special glass. And to make this work, the glass needs to be cold and a little bit wet. So now this is the scary part. So this is how you do it. You put the glass on top of the bottle, and then you turn the whole thing upside down. And it's not, I wasn't fast enough, sorry. And this is how you pour it. So you basically slowly release the bottle out of the glass. And I have seen people in Germany doing two at the same time. So this is really impressive, if you can see that. So basically what they're doing, so now they're waiting. So now the yeast is here in the bottom of the bottle. So what they're doing, they're just rolling it a little bit, or they just lay the bottle to the side. You can't really see that, hang on. Just like this, to get the yeast a chance to go further up, and then we're going to top that one up with the fresh yeast coming straight out of the bottle. So, well, that was semi-professional, but anyway, I wanted to show you that.
Good, Janny. Entertaining. I'm coming to lick your floor when
What was that? Sorry.
I'm coming to lick your floor.
No, you don't. I'm doing all that myself. Once I've finished that class.
Good girl.
Okay. Over back to Katja. How's the? Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So I'm just put the cream around, just fixing it up now so that it looks nice. That spatula is really good. I really like it. Ta-da. We can also, just to make the rounds nice and even, we use the bowl scraper again. And just do this. Before we put on the chocolate. So you really need to take some time here and be patient. I'm not very patient person, but I'm patient with cakes.
Piece of art, really.
Yeah, exactly. So just once more with the cloth around, and then we're gonna put the chocolate. So, okay, let me clean that up here. One moment. All right. I need my bowl scraper again for that. Quickly need to wash that. 1 second. So, one moment.
So I can start eating.
Yeah. I want the pretzel, you know.
Yeah, well, look what, I'll make you a deal. How about I give you some pretzels in exchange for a little bit of that Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte?
Yeah, you know what? You give me all your pretzels and I give you the whole cake. How is that?
Yeah.
Because I made a kid's version yesterday. So without the kirsch. So I have enough cake. So yeah. I can give you the whole cake. How's that?
Deal. That's it. Want to show
Yeah, and some of that Obazta of it, I need to try as well.
Megan is trying to sneak her way in. She's suggesting a picnic.
All right. So the chocolate. So we put a bit on the bowl scraper. It gets a bit messy now, but it's just the way it is. Just gonna put that around. You see that?
Yes, very nice.
Ta-da. You're just gonna, don't worry, you're gonna clean it up afterwards. There's a lot of chocolate. Sorry?
Bench.
Yeah. So nice and round. That looks nice. So we're going to clean the other stuff afterwards. More. That's why this turntable is great for that. Can really use it. So now we can put the chocolate shaving we did earlier. Just going to put that in the middle.
Yeah.
You could also, if you have another ring, you could put that in the ring to make it perfect, but
no,
we're just not going to make it perfect. We make it Katja style. Okay, now, as you remember, I had earlier, I had the piping bag with my cream, because now we're going to decorate the top, and then I will clean up all the sides. And where are my cherries? Here we go. So nice and cool. So this is 20 centimeters cake tin, so I would say 12 pieces. So that's why we're going to do like little rosetten. How do you call them, Janny? Rosettes, yeah, rosettes. So one. We just do one at a time. One left, right, side. So now we got 4.
Nice.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and another 2, 11, 12. Ta-da! So now the top is the best because now what is missing? Anyone know what is missing?
The cherries.
Yeah. So there are actually two cherries or 2 types of cherries you could use. Where's the packet I wanted to show you? I had earlier.
Glacade or maraschino?
Yeah, glacade. Yeah. Ah, here. So, I mean, if you can't get them, but you can get them in the store. The glazed cherries. You can use them. They're already, well, they're nice and sweet. But if you don't, or if you can't get them, you could have taken out from your Morello cherries from the jar. You could have taken 12 out and drained them, and you can also use those. Just so you know, that's another variation. But we're gonna use them. I think they look nice for decor. So we're just gonna put that on top.
Yum.
Mm.
I'll be at yours in 5 minutes, okay?
You need to come with the car, Jenny.
Can I go now? All right.
maybe another 10 minutes. I need to clean up.
Look, I'm finished. I can wrap up here. I can.
So, yeah, perfect. Ta-da!
Yay!
So yeah, so now this looks still a bit messy, but I'm going to clean it up. And before I forget, you could also, where are my, these are my ready-made Rote Grütze, red berry pudding, and we can put actually more cream on top to make it look nicer.
Yes.
Ta-da! And some more chocolate shaving. So here we have the red berry pudding, also called Rote Grütze.
The Rote Grütze, you know what also would work very well with the Rote Grütze is some ice cream, some vanilla ice cream.
Yes, and actually my kids, they love vanilla sauce or crème anglaise. You can also use the I use the recipe, what was it,
Pouring custard?
the pudding. Yeah, the custard recipe I use, but the thin one.
Yeah. So pouring one.
Pouring one, that's the one, yeah.
Yes. Perfect. Looks awesome. And we also get feedback in the chat box, people saying it looks delicious. And I couldn't agree more. And yeah, so just so you know, I'm on my way. I'm gonna go come and steal it off you. Yay! Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So we will take a photo of that, and I'm going to
Definitely.
take a savory platter and a sweet kitchen, and we're going to pop them on the Bayside Thermomix community group. That is where we usually hanging out with you guys. So if you're not part of the Bayside Thermomix community yet, then please find us on Facebook. Find the videos that we did on Janny Thermo Crazy, so Janny with J-A-N-N-Y, and have a look what else we had already done for you. Always there for you to recap in your own time. And yeah, if you have hosted today, then talk to your consultant who has invited you about the host reward. Oh, here I am back on camera. And Yeah, so I can't wait actually to get out of my dundle again. This is a bit hard to breathe in that one, in case you can imagine. So it's nothing really Germans wear every day, just a little disclaimer here. It has become very popular to wear that on an Oktoberfest or during that crazy period of time. And I'd love to tell you a little bit more about the Bedundle and all of that, but we don't have time for that anymore. So thanks so much for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoyed our little culinary journey over the ditch to Germany, and celebrated our little mini Oktoberfest with us today on the last day of October.
Just made it.
Just made it.
And girls.
Yeah, so preparing for summer is the next topic we want to entertain you with, and I think we all could do with a little bit of light salads, with hopefully some really nice weather coming up, and after we've digested all of these carbs and the sweets down. We really need, well, I need to get onto that as well. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. I think Facebook hasn't worked, but it's fine. I'm going to pop the recording onto the group there as well, so you'll find us either way, and I hope I see you all again next time, and have a lovely long weekend ahead of you. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for joining.
That was great. Prost.
Ciao.
Yeah, Prost, yeah.
Tschüss.
Reminder.
Okay, that took about 4 hours.